Now in NHL 24, I did a big 3 rebuild, which consisted of Connor Bedard, Leo Carlson, Adam Fantilli. In that rebuild, I threw all of them on one team together, surrounded with a bunch of 0 overalls, and I rebuilt them until one player retired. Now I wanted to do the same thing this season, however, it's a bit more difficult, because I can't really do a big 3 rebuild. We need Michkov, Celebrini, of course. We also need Michkov, that's a no-brainer, and then obviously we need Hutson. However, there's also one other player that we have to have on this team. I can't pass up on Dustin Wolf. I can't do a big 3 rebuild here and leave Dustin Wolf off the team, or leave Michkov off the team, or leave Hutson. I need to have all 4 of these guys on one team together. So I put the top rookies on one team, and we're going to rebuild this team until one player retires. Because really, it wouldn't make sense for me to do a big 3 rebuild, have Michkov, Celebrini, Michkov, and Hutson on the team, and then leave a guy like Dustin Wolf out. That just wouldn't be fair for the season he's having. He definitely has to be on this team. So we're going to rebuild the Yukon Youngins until one of these guys retires, and we're going to give all 4 of these guys historic careers. However, season number 1 is not going to be that historic because we have 4 NHL players and a bunch of 0 overall players, so it's going to be an absolute dumpster fire for year number 1, but we don't have to worry about that because we'll just drop from 1 to 3 and get another great rookie. Now with the team consisting of basically all 0 overall players, the Yukon Youngins aren't going to see any success. We're actually going to be losing every game this season, and we're only going to be scoring 10 goals. But you know what? That's not the end of the world here, because we're going to make a bunch of moves in free agency because I can do whatever I want. Celebrini is an 87 overall. He picked up 10 points this season. Michkov's an 86 overall. He's got 5 X factors. He's looking like a superstar. While Hutson, he's sitting at 86 overall, 5 X factors as well. Everyone developed X factors this season. Next season, we're working on overalls. And then, of course, when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, I can't really expect you to do too much, but you're up to an 88 overall with 2 X factors. Considering how much of a disaster this season was, we actually don't look terrible here because all the young guys progressed. So you know what? I'll take it. The Dallas Stars are going to be Stanley Cup champions, but here's the real question. Are we going to be dropping in the draft, or are we getting the first overall pick? I think we all know the answer. So let's go ahead and drop from 1 to 3 because I can guarantee that's going to happen here. And oh my god, a miracle has happened. For the first time in history, or at least the first time in probably about 4 months, the team projected to get the first overall pick actually got the first overall pick. Take a picture. Nobody dropped in the draft. Everything actually was expected. Number 1 got number 1. Number 2 got number 2. Number 3 got number 3. Everything went according to plan. Now, it's really a historic day right here. And since it's such a historic day, the only thing that can make it even better is you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 80k subs by the end of the month. But nah, you got a sub right now. The fact that we just got the first overall pick after being the worst team in the entire league, Nasher could never. Now, realistically, there was only one thing that could have made this even better, but that was getting a franchise potential player. We're not going to be walking away with a franchise potential player, but this guy does interest me. Medium league potential. He's a right side defenseman, so that means he could play alongside Hutson. However, the only problem I have with this guy, he's a defensive defenseman. Do I want to play a defensive defenseman on my top pairing? You know what? Yes, I do. So we're bringing Osborne to the team. He's going to play some top line minutes, 80 overall. Him and Hutson are going to hold it down that top line. The rebuild has begun, and I can guarantee you we're making the playoffs next year. Am I putting way too much pressure on this team? Absolutely. But we're going to live with it. Also, with the 34th overall pick, we're getting a medium top 4 potential defenseman starting off as a 68 overall. That's not too bad. Okay, I have no clue how we're securing a 71 overall in the 5th round, but that's what we just got here. 19 years old, 71 overall, medium start potential. He might not have elite potential, but still, starting off as a 71 overall, that's an amazing selection in the 5th round. Like, that's actually one of the biggest steals I've seen in a long time. Now, when it comes to the re-sign phase, of course, we have nobody that we have to re-sign here. However, we are going to give out one contract. We're giving it to the rookie we drafted first overall. So with that signing complete, let the rebuild begin. Now, we have a ridiculous amount of cap space to work with, over $80 million, so we're going to bring in a lot of free agents. However, there are a couple things we have to consider. Number 1, there's not going to be a ton of players that want to join our team considering we didn't win a single game last season. The second thing, players like Ehlers are asking for $16.2 million. Why on earth would I give Nikola Ehlers $16.2 million at a 91 overall? He's asking for more money than Mitch Marner, who's 4 overalls higher and younger. Like, how does that make any sense? Also, I guess the Jacob Chikrin contract hasn't been added yet, so he's an available free agent here. And he would actually be an interesting guy to bring to the team. If we put him on the first pairing alongside Hutson, that could be interesting. So Chikrin, I'm willing to give you $8 million per year for the next 4 seasons. I know we just drafted a rookie that I said was going to play alongside Hutson. Things have changed. Also, when it comes to adding a player to our top 6, Sam Bennett, I think you could play some first line minutes for us. I think you could see some crazy development, and then I'll flip you in 2 years when you're an 8-9 overall. Now, obviously, we don't want to jump the gun here. We don't want to spend all of our money because eventually we are going to have to hand out extensions. Dustin Wolf, Hutson, Michkov, Celebrini, they don't have to be given their extensions yet, but we got to make sure that we have give or take 40, maybe even $45 million for all those players combined. So basically, committing $6 million to Granlund probably wouldn't be the smartest thing in the world to do here. However, I'm going to go through all these free agents. We're going to find a couple stick on the ice legends, and we're going to make some moves. Or we're going to find Jeff Skinner, who I know for a fact I can turn to like an 87 overall player. So yeah, here's $2.9 million for the next 3. I'm going to play you on the top line. You're going to have some great development. That was a great pickup for us. Now, of course, you already knew this man was going to be joining the team. Mason Appleton, it's 1.9 for the next 2 years. He continues to be a stick on the ice legend, and he always will be. Now, another player who I think I can unlock their potential is Kuzmenko, so we're doing $3 million for the next 2 years. And then, of course, we have to bring this other stick on the ice legend to the team. It was only a matter of time before we brought him in. Of course, it's Trent Frederick. Why would I not bring Trent Frederick to the team? He's going to be joining on a 2-year deal, and we're going to be looking at $2.4 million. So Trent Frederick, welcome to the Youngins. We also need to bring in a backup goaltender, and that's going to be Vanacek. $1.3 million for the next 2 years. It's a really cheap deal. But who knows if he's actually going to be our backup, because we're also going to bring in Samsonov, 1.8 for 1 season. I don't know who's going to be in the NHL of you two guys. All I know is we're bringing in an AHL goaltender and an NHL goaltender. Now, Eric Robinson, I feel like whenever I bring you to my team, you never progress. However, when you're not on my team, you turn to an 87 overall. We're going to test that theory today. $3.6 million for 2 seasons. Now we got to bring in a couple other players. Nick Perbix is $3.6 for the next 2. Kevin Ball is going to be next, $3.4 for the next 3. Brandon Tanev is going to be a really cheap piece in the bottom 6. That's $1.3 for the next 2. Taylor Radish is going to be up next. We're going to be looking at a 1-year deal at $1.9 million. Luke Kunin's only 27 years old, so he's got a little bit left in the tank here. We're going to be looking at $2.5 for the next 3 years. I don't think he's going to turn to a star or anything, but that's a reasonable contract. Next up is another really good young player who's going to be on a super good deal for us. $1.9 million for the next 2 years for Holmstrom. As long as he develops, we're getting a steal here. Now, of course, got to keep bringing the stick on the ice legends to the team. The next one's going to be Justin Brazeau, and we're going to be looking at a nice little 2x2 with him. $2 million for the next 2. That works for me. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves and sign way too many free agents, Lane Hutson can accept his extension right now, so we might as well give that to him, and it's going to be 5.6 for the next 6 seasons. Let's try to save a little bit on that. How about we do 5.4 for the next 6? I mean, that's still an incredibly reasonable contract. Now, there's not too many players that need to join this team, but Ryan Lindgren, you're going to be in next. It's $4.9 million for the next 4. I guess we can bring Jamie Benn in for $2.4 million. I mean, that's a cheap enough contract, so it's not going to hurt us too much. And then we'll bring in one more defenseman. That's going to be stick on the ice legend Henry Jokiharju, $2.8 million for the next 3. Well, I guess Jacob Chikrin's not going to play first pairing minutes for us because he's not even going to accept our contract. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. We'll still survive. Now, I'm not expecting this team to win a Stanley Cup or anything, but I think we could see some decent progression. Sam Bennett, if you're playing first line minutes, you're probably going to get up to an 88 overall. Michkov and Celebrini, I think it's going to be a big year for you guys. Robinson, I'm giving you a chance on the second line here, so you better develop for me. When it comes to the defense, we're loading the first pairing up with a bunch of our young guys. Lane, Hutson, and Osborne, I need them to carry the way. Then when it comes to goaltending, you already know Dustin Wolf's the guy for us. However, we are going to have to stop on January 1st to make sure we can give this man his extension. Like, I already gave Lane Hutson his extension. When it comes to Dustin Wolf, I have to wait till January 1st. Not really too sure why we have to do that, but you know what? We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to simulate to January 1st and give him his bag. So Dustin Wolf, you've looked amazing this season. We're currently battling for a wild card spot. I was really hoping we'd be able to get a long-term deal done, but I guess 2 years isn't the end of the world here. I'm looking at 5.5 for the next 2. I really want to get an 8-year deal done with you, but I guess it's not going to be happening. Also, Samsonov, we can do $700K for the next 2 years. That works for me. Now, if we get hot at the right time, we might be able to sneak into the playoffs. 17th in the entire league, a 32-25-6 record. The team's not doing bad this season. We're just not scoring goals. Defensively, we're actually really good. 2.84 goals allowed. That's one of the best in the entire league. However, when it comes to the offensive production from this team, that's where we're lacking right now. Celebrini, Lane Hutson, Robinson, Michkov, those are our top guys. Robinson, please be up to like an 86 or even an 87 overall. You're still an 84. You're letting me down. Michkov, 40 points this season. You're not really performing as I hoped. Then again, the real question that has to be asked here, can we play Celebrini and Michkov on the same line together? Like, Michkov's a playmaker, Celebrini's also a playmaker. 2 playmakers on our top line, is that really going to work for us? That's something that we're going to have to watch here. Meanwhile, Dustin Wolf, 28 wins, 6 shots, a 917-258. The only reason we are in the playoffs right now is because Samsonov stinks. Bro has a 4-10 record, an 895 and a 340. If he could stop the puck from time to time, we would probably be in the wild card. So I'm going to just take a look at what's out there, see what the trade values of some of our players are. I don't think we're going to make any big moves here. We're just going to evaluate things. However, there is one thing piquing my interest right now. Sam Bennett, your trade value has gone up. What could we get for trading you? So after taking a look at what's out there and what we really have for valuable assets on this team, I don't think we're going to make any moves here. I think we're just going to stick with the team we have. If we somehow sneak into the wild card, that's great. If we don't make the playoffs, it's not the end of the world. Also, I just realized we're 3rd in our division, so I guess we don't have to worry about the wild card if we finish 3rd in our division. But yeah, whether we make the playoffs or not this season, I'm not too worried. The team's continuing to develop here, and the only thing we're really worried about is the future. All I can say is the Yukon Youngins got incredibly lucky here because we're going to sneak into the playoffs. playoffs, 16th in the entire league, but we didn't finish in the wild card, and we also didn't finish third in our division. The Yukon Youngins, who are 16th in the entire league, are currently second in the Pacific Division. That's how bad it is right now. With a 42, 32, and 8 record, we're second in the Pacific. Mac and Celebrini, you're going to lead the way here. You're picking up 78 points. Lane Hutson, 65. Michkov's picking up 63. Eric Robinson, he's picking up 62. Sam Ben's picking up 57. So a handful of the guys that we picked up in free agency had some great production this season. I'm expecting all of them are going to progress over the offseason. But you know what? As long as Dustin Wolf's in between the pipes for us, we actually have a good chance at winning here. Like, he was one of the best goaltenders in the NHL, a 915 to 266. So as long as he continues to play like this, we might be able to upset some teams. I don't think we're going to go on a deep run or anything, but as long as Dustin Wolf continues to look like that, I think we can compete with anyone. So it's Yukon's first appearance in the postseason. We're taking on the LA Kings. There's high expectations. Dustin Wolf picked up a shutout in game number 1. He then allowed 8 goals in game number 2. We're all over the place right now. Okay, we literally are all over the place. A shutout, 3-0. We then proceed to allow 8 goals. Then another great performance, 5-2. I can live with that. Then we lost 12-5. Where is this team headed? I honestly have no clue what we're doing here. Are we going to be getting a shutout? We're not picking up a shutout here, but we're winning this one 7-2. We're probably going to allow 8 goals in this next game based on how the trends have been going. We're dropping that one 2-1. We're off to game 7. This has been one of the most ridiculous rounds I've ever seen in my life. Like a shutout in game 1, 8 goals allowed in game 2, 12 goals allowed in game 3. We're picking up 2 goals in the first period. In the second period, it looks like the LA Kings are responding 3 unanswered, but Jamie Benn's going to keep us in this game. What's going to happen in the third period? We haven't allowed 7 goals in the game yet, so why do I think that's about to happen here? Well, it's not quite going to be 7 goals, but we're going to be dropping this one 5-3. So Yukon, you put some pressure on the LA Kings, but oh my, was that defense atrocious. Like Dustin Wolf, there's a very good chance your goals against is almost 5. So after that incredibly unrealistic first round, the 4th seeded Colorado Avalanche are going to lose to the 4th seeded Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup final. So 2 wildcard teams made to the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, that makes no sense, but you know what? We're going to run with it. Kuzmenko, 8 points in 7 games. Lane Hutson, 8 points. We just played like crap. Like, there's no way we can gas up this team's performance. We were terrible throughout the entire postseason. Dustin Wolf, 3 wins, 1 shutout, an 895 and a 376. I'm going to be honest, this is better than I thought it would be. Samsonov, this is truthfully what I expected from you. So we're going to be losing to the wild card, but at least we made the postseason in year number 2. We'll make some moves over the offseason to be even better, and we're going to be making a Stanley Cup push in year 3. So with our first round selection, we're bringing in Lars Steiner, 70 overall, medium top 6 potential. We'll give him a couple years to develop, and they should be jumping into the lineup for us. So after picking up a medium top 6 potential player in the first round, we're going to be securing another one here in the second. So we got a couple medium top 6 potential forwards, but you know what's better than that? A medium elite potential goaltender, and that's what we're getting 117th overall. So in the re-sign phase, there's only one player we're looking at, and that's going to be Taylor Radish. If we can bring him back on a cheap deal, I will. He wants 2.9 for 1 year. Why not? Like, you're just playing bottom 6 mins for me. We have a lot of cap space, so I can certainly do that 1 year deal. Now it's time for the big money to be handed out here. Celebrini is going to be getting a big deal. Michkov's going to be getting a big deal. Jamie Benn's up to an 87 overall, so we're going to trade him away, and we should be able to get a decent amount. Eric Robinson's up to an 85, so hopefully we can capitalize on that trade value. Holmstrom, hopefully I can bring you back even though you don't want an extension. There's a lot of guys looking for deals here, but I think we can make it all work. So we're going to start off with Celebrini, and no surprise here, we're going to be getting a pretty reasonable deal done. We're going to be looking at 8.8 for the next 7 years. That's an absolute steal for a 90 overall. Then when it comes to Michkov, I think he's going to want a little bit more, but you know what? We're actually going to do basically the exact same. So Michkov's going to be 8.5 for the next 6 seasons. So we got 2 of our key guys locked down. Jamie Benn, we're going to be trading away just because he's 36 years old. There's no point bringing him back here. Robinson's looking for 6.6 million. That's a little bit too much for me, so we're going to trade him away as well. Holmstrom, I see the potential in the guy like you, but you only want a 1 year deal, so I think we're going to hold off for a little bit. Perbix, Trent Frederick, Kuzmenko, we're going to see what the market is for you guys. So in regards to Eric Robinson and Perbix deal, this is what we're looking at. Both of them are going to be sent over to the Carolina Hurricanes for us to bring in Logan Stankoven. We get a little bit younger, but I also think we get better because with the amount of money we free up, we can just go pick somebody up in free agency. So I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. We can offer a couple picks though. Like, it looks like they're interested in 3rd round picks, so I'll offer a 3rd rounder over. Carolina's still going to be saying no. I'll give you multiple 3rds. I don't really know how much more we have to give up. Like, trade value wise, we're definitely giving up enough here, so hopefully this is going to be enough. Carolina's still saying no. What else do you want? I know you don't want 2nd round picks, but what if I give you one? So here's a 2nd round pick. Hopefully that's going to be enough for Carolina. They're saying no. Maybe we trade Jamie Benn first. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Jamie Benn and Ryan Lindgren sent over to the Rangers. We bring in Will Cooley. Will Cooley's an 87 overall right now, 2.1 million. That's a really cheap contract, but of course we're going to extend him and keep him around long term. We're also going to get a 3rd round pick in the deal. Maybe we're not getting a 3rd round pick, but we are going to be able to get Will Cooley. You're really telling me this isn't enough. What if I give you a 7th round pick for 2027? Is that going to make the difference, and would you be willing to accept that? No, you want 2 7th rounders. You really need 2 7th round picks in order to accept this. Now that I've given you these 2 picks that are going to be in the 200th overall range, you're like, man, that's a great deal for us. Now, I tried to get a deal done earlier with Robinson and Perbix, but we weren't able to do it. Now I'm going to send them both over to the Islanders. We're bringing in Saplakov, and we're also going to be getting a 3rd round pick. So Plakov's an 85 overall right now. He's a good young player who's going to keep on developing, and I think we should be able to re-sign him on a reasonable contract. Now, Saplakov is certainly not doing me any favors here, so maybe we're not going to be bringing him back to the team. Also, he's an 87 overall, not an 85. So bro's him. So you know what? Maybe we just needed Saplakov. Now that we've added him to the team, if I package him up with Kevin Ball and 3 3rd round picks, can we bring in Logan Stankoven now? Yes, we can. So Logan Stankoven, a great addition to the team. Our 2nd line's starting to look pretty solid. Now, before we get to free agency, there's a couple more extensions I want to hand out. Mason Appleton, 2.4 for the next 2 years. You're going to be sticking around with the team. Brandon Tanev, you're 34 years old, so I don't think I'm going to bring you back. Justin Brazeau, on the other hand, you're still young enough, especially at this price tag, $1.8 million for the next 3. That's an absolute steal. All right, now I don't want to spend too much money in free agency here, but we do need a handful of defensemen. Zamula, you want no movement in year 2. That's just not happening. I'm not giving you that. Nick Hague, hopefully you're going to be a bit more reasonable here, and it looks like you will be, so I'll lock you down for 3.3 for the next 3. So Nick Hague's going to be joining the team. Jackson Lacombe, I guess we can bring you in as well. You're looking for $4 million for the next 2. I can do 4.3 million just to make sure you join the team. So Jackson Lacombe is going to be joining, and then we'll bring in one more piece. And that next piece is probably going to be Mikkola. We'll do 3.2 million for the next 3. So that's going to finish off our defense here, but we'll see what else is available. So Tovan's going to join the team. We'll give him 6.4 million. He's going to be a really nice addition for us. So here's what the plan is this season. I know it would make a lot more sense for Logan Stankoven to play on the top line, then we completely load it up here. However, I do want a bit more scoring depth, and I think if Tovan plays on the top line alongside Michkov and Celebrini, he's going to progress in like an 88 overall really quick. So that means this 2nd line with Cooley and Sam Bennett, they're going to be able to score goals too, because they're going to have a lot of depth here. We're not really focused on winning a Stanley Cup quite yet. However, if we do that, I'm not going to complain. We're still focused on the progression of all the young players on this team. Dustin Wolf's up to an 89 overall. He plays like one of the best goaltenders in the game. We just need to allow this team to develop a bit more. I can guarantee you within 3 seasons we'll win at least 1 Stanley Cup. However, I don't think the Stanley Cup's coming quite yet. Now, sometimes I just impress myself. 3rd in the entire league, a 42-21-4 record. The offense is looking spectacular while the defense is the best in the entire game. That wasn't the plan this season. I was talking about within 3 seasons we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup, but probably not this season. I got to take it all back. Michkov, 80 points. Celebrini, 72. Logan Stankoven, 61. Sam Bennett, 59. Lane Hutson, 53. Tolvanen, 50. Will Cooley, 47. All the moves that we made worked out for us. Will Cooley, 87 overall. He's got 5 X factors. We have to give that man an extension immediately. Meanwhile, Dustin Wolf has proven he's a top 3 goaltender. Bro is absolutely locked in right now. Yeah, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup pretty quick here. Now, I don't think we're going to make any trades considering how good we are. However, I will take a look at trade values here. And if somebody's trade value is absolutely through the roof, we might make a deal. Like Luke Kunin, Brazeau, it would almost make a little bit of sense. Like Luke Kunin's trade value is higher than Tolvanen's. That doesn't make sense. Also, Luke Kunin is currently a healthy scratch for us. Like he hasn't played a minute all season. So we are 100% trading him. And if I package him up with Nico Mikkola, we might be able to bring in a pretty solid defenseman. Okay, I highly doubt this is going to be enough, but I'm still going to offer it over to Buffalo. If they accepted, they would have been so incredibly dumb. I'm going to throw a 2nd round pick in this deal. I don't think a 2nd round pick is enough to get this one done. However, if Buffalo accepts this, we're bringing Owen Power to the team. You guys are so dumb. So yeah, that's a nice upgrade for us. Now, Will Cooley, I understand that you don't want an extension with the team, and right now you're looking for 6.3 for 1 year. But how about we do 6.3 for the next 3 years? How does that sound? Probably gonna have to offer you a bit more, so how about 6.6 for the next 3? I think that's a pretty solid deal for you. I just don't think you're going to accept it. Trent Frederick, how much are you looking for? I'd like to bring you back to the team. You're looking for 3.3 million. We could probably just do $3 million on the dot. So Trent Frederick's gonna be returning to the team. Holmstrom, how much are you looking for? Because I'd like to bring you back barring the right price. $5 million is not that price. Meanwhile, with everyone else, we're just going to be letting them walk. Alright, so remember how the Yukon Youngins were an amazing team at the trade deadline? I was really surprised at that. We won, what, 5 or 6 games after the trade deadline? We weren't good. We had 40 plus wins at the trade deadline in 67 games or something. We proceed to win like 6 games after that. So I'm a little bit concerned. Michkov, I think you had 9 points after the trade deadline. not a great sign here. Celebrini, you were a point a game. Stankoven, 76. Sam Bennett, you had 73, but yeah, this team didn't perform that well. Dustin Wolf, 40 wins this season, 3 shots, a 914 to 259. So clearly our numbers got worse after trading Nico Mikkola away. But considering the direction we're heading in, I think we made that trade for the betterment of the team. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. We could potentially be upset here. So the Yukon Youngins have not been a great team since the trade deadline. We're taking on Colorado and we allowed 7 goals in game number 1. That set the standard here. We're not winning against Colorado. They're probably going to sweep us here, but we're winning back-to-back games. Maybe this team is woken up. Maybe we're ready to play some good defense here. Watch us allow 8 goals. We've actually won 3 in a row. Okay, maybe that's behind us. Maybe all the losing's behind us now, and we're just going to keep on winning. 4 straight victories, we're moving on. So we got past Colorado after 4 straight victories. We're moving into the second round with a bit of momentum. Let's continue to build on it. So we've got 4 straight victories under our belt. Can we turn that into 8 straight victories and sweep the Anaheim Ducks? Nope, because we're allowing 8 goals in game number 1. Luckily, we're going to be winning 2 in a row. Can we make it 3 in a row? Yes, we can. The only thing that concerns me is those like 8 goal and 7 goal games that we've been allowing. Like at certain points, our defense just completely collapsed and it puts us in a bad spot. Luckily, we are going to be bouncing back, but games like that just concern me a little bit. So as each round goes on, it looks like Yukon keeps on getting better. Let's sweep the Winnipeg Jets and then sweep the Stanley Cup final. So you already know what you got to do here. Sweep the Winnipeg Jets. Why do we always allow a lot of goals in game number 1? We're down 3-1 in the series. We got to make a huge comeback, but that's 3 straight matchups now where we've just allowed a ton of goals in game number 1. So here we go. We're down 3-1 in the series. We got to win 4 straight games. Luckily, we already won game number 4, so now we have to win game number 5 here, and we might be able to do that as long as we hold out in the third period, and that's what we're doing. Sam Bennett's going to be picking up a goal, but we're not going to need it. We're moving on to game 6. So here we go. Game number 6. The Winnipeg Jets taking on the Youngins. The Youngins definitely need to win this one right here. We're exchanging goals in the first period. Scheifele's going to give the Winnipeg Jets the lead in the second, so I'm going to need some of the big-time performers to step up. Michkov, Celebrini, Lane Hutson, even Dustin Wolf. If you can somehow score a goal in this game, I don't think you will, but I need somebody to pick up some goals for us, and nobody's picking up any goals, so we're going to be dropping this one 2-1. Considering what happened after the trade deadline, I'll take losing in 6 games in the conference finals. This team's giving me a little bit of hope. We just need to make a couple more moves, and then we're going to solidify ourselves as the best team in the league. And then the Winnipeg Jets won the Stanley Cup, so I mean, we took the Stanley Cup champs to 6 games. It's not too bad. Clearly, some things need to be changed with this team. Goaltending-wise, that's set in stone. We're not touching that whatsoever. Dustin Wolf is the guy. Celebrini, 16 points. Sam Bennett, 12 points. He's got an X factor. He's up to an 8-9 overall with exact elite potential. He will be traded immediately. There's no way I'm going to be able to pass up on that trade value. Michkov's picking up 12 points, Tovan 11, and I think I already know where I'm trading Sam Bennett. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I actually don't know exactly who we're going to be trading Sam Bennett to, but I know which player I want. So Sam Bennett, looks like your trade value has gone up a fair amount. So I'm going to trade Sam Bennett along with our first round pick, which is the 31st overall, and that's going to be sent over to the Islanders. You're going to give me the first overall pick so I can get Landon DuPont. That's the trade I want to make here. I don't think this trade will be as simple as I think it will be. Holmstrom, I could flip you though, because I don't plan on bringing you back to the team. You were asking for a ridiculous amount of money. We could potentially do this. Like, just send me Claude Giroux's contract just so we can make the money match here. But I think this could potentially happen, so I'm going to offer this package over to the Islanders. Oh, apparently we gave up way too much. Not really, though. We're getting Landon DuPont. So Landon DuPont, welcome to the team. You're immediately going to be jumping into the lineup. Well, maybe not immediately. You're a 73 overall. I'm going to have to give you a little bit to develop. But our first pairing defense is now going to be Lane Hutson and Landon DuPont in the future. I think that's going to be an elite pairing. Now, Buffalo, it would be an absolute shame if I took advantage of you multiple times in this video. Like, why would I ever do that? Why would I just pick on the Buffalo Sabres? Because they're not smart. That's why I'm going to pick on the Buffalo Sabres here. We traded down the draft here. We got ourselves a future 3rd round pick. But you know what? I think it's going to work out for us. And why is that? Well, the guy projected 86th overall, even though he is a grinder, has medium league potential, and he's a gem. So yeah, we're going to take this guy 10 picks early, 52 overall. Considering what we gave up, we finessed them. So we've got a medium league potential player, we've got ourselves a franchise potential player, now we got ourselves a low league potential player. We're getting all the superstars. So I trade for the rights to Claude Giroux just so we can make the contracts work, but I don't plan on bringing him back to the team here. Kuzmenko's probably not going to be coming back as well. I mean, if he's willing to sign a cheap contract, I guess we can do it, and this isn't too bad. I'll do 3.5 for the next 2 years. Actually, we can do a bit less than that. How about 3.3 for the next 2? So Kuzmenko's going to return to the team, and then Taylor Rasher, an 84 overall, I can bring you back as well. 3.5 for the next 3 years, it's a little bit expensive, but you know what? If I want to trade you in the future, I'll be able to. So here's 3.2. So Taylor Raddysh is going to be returning. We'll sign a couple rookies, then we'll be ready to make some moves. Now, we don't have too many players we have to re-sign here, but Osborne, of course, I want to bring you back to the team. You're the guy we drafted first overall a couple years ago. And when it comes to your extension, we're going to be looking at a pretty good price here, $5.2 million for the next 5 seasons. So whether you play first or second pairing minutes for us, that's going to be a really good deal. Trent Frederick, we'll have to re-sign you later. Henry Okiharu, Lacombe, Skinner, all of you guys are probably just going to walk. Also, Dustin Wolf does need another extension, even though we just gave him one a couple years ago. Okay, we got to do multiple years, man. I can't do a 1-year deal. Now, we haven't really committed too much money to anyone yet, so giving Morgan Geekie $3.3 million, even to play in the bottom 6, isn't the end of the world. So that's what we're going to be doing. So Morgan Geekie's going to be joining the team at that price tag. I guess we could technically bring somebody in on a 1-year deal. Who's actually willing to sign a 1-year deal, though? Like, we could bring in Drew Doughty, but I don't want a defenseman. I want a forward on a 1-year deal. We could do Riley Smith, even Kiefer Sherwood. Kiefer Sherwood actually wouldn't be that bad. And you know what? I think that's what we're going to do here. Kiefer Sherwood on a 1-year deal, $5 million. That's going to leave us with about $6 million to work with, and then we're going to make one trade. Now, remember how we drafted that medium league potential player? Well, it's time for us to flip that medium league potential player. I'm not even going to allow him to develop on this team. Part of the reason for that is he's a grinder, and I just really hate grinders. I find like they're not really good at anything, especially when it comes to the simulation. So I'm going to try to trade this guy straight up for Matt Savoy. Matt Savoy can play second line minutes for us. The Oilers are saying no to that, but we got draft picks to work with. So here's a 3rd round pick for 2029. I don't think that's going to be enough. They just want a 7th round pick. I was willing to offer my 2nd rounder, but you messed up. So now all you're going to be getting is a 3rd and 7th round pick. Matt Savoy, welcome to the team. Now, after trading Sembin and Holmstrom away, I thought the team was going to be a little bit worse, but you know what? We made some good moves over the offseason. I think you can make the argument we're actually even better. From top to bottom, this team is pretty elite. Even when it comes to the 3rd pairing defense, Nick Hague, Henry Okiharu, an 83 and 84 overall, they can certainly hold it down for us. And then in between the pipes, of course, one of the best goalies in the league, if not the best this time, Dustin Wolf. Like, overall wise, he's not the best, but just look at these numbers: a 914 to 259 and a 915 to 266. And then when you look at the postseason numbers, bro has done all he can for us. I mean, completely ignore this postseason right here, but last postseason, he held up his end of the bargain. We just couldn't score when it mattered. All right, I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself. Like, Dustin Wolf's a great goaltender and all, but saying he's the best goaltender in the league, that's a bit of a stretch. All right, so with the moves we made, I certainly thought we were going to be better this season, but apparently not. The Youngins are taking a step back, 13th in the entire league, a 34, 23, and 6 record. What happened to this great team? Well, the defense is still doing its normal thing. It's the offense here. We're not producing as much, and you can clearly see that from the numbers. Macklin Celebrini, 68 points to lead the way. Michkov's got 63. Lane Hutson, 45. Logan Stankoven, 44. We're just not the same team we used to be. I am not making this trade. Zetterlund, I got nothing against you, and you're actually not that bad of a player, but I just don't see you having a role in this team, so I'm going to decline that trade. The moral of the story here, Dustin Wolf, it doesn't matter how good you look, because you're looking elite right now. We're just not scoring goals. You can't score goals for us, because you got to focus on keeping them out of the net. But yeah, we got to bring some more offense to this team. All right, so I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to switch things up a little bit. Tolvanen and a 1st round pick is going to be sent over to the Predators. We're bringing in Kemmel. He's a good young player, medium league potential, and he's going to keep on getting better. And he's only 23 years old. If we play him on the top line alongside Michkov and Celebrini, he's certainly going to develop. We're also going to try to get a 2nd round pick in the process. They're going to say no to the 2nd round pick. Give me a 3rd then. I want to walk away with some type of draft compensation here. Hopefully we can get a 3rd round pick. They want a bit more, so that means we have to include a 7th. How about I just take the 3rd round pick out of the deal and we get this one done? So what we're going to do is Celebrini is going to continue to play center. Michkov's going to be sent over to the left side, and Kemmel's going to jump in on the right wing. All right, so the main extension here, that's going to Kemmel. And then we got to make sure that we re-sign Dustin Wolf as well. But Kemmel, this isn't going to hurt us whatsoever. 2.8 for the next 2 years. That's a really cheap contract. So he's going to be returning. That's not much of an issue. Dustin Wolf, though, that's where a lot of money is going to be handed out, but this isn't nearly as bad as I thought. We might be bringing everyone back to the team here. Dustin Wolf, what an incredible contract. 6.6 for the next 7 years. He's going to be returning as well. So since we have so much cap space here, let's try to bring everyone else back. Kiefer Sherwood, a 2-year deal at $4.4 million. We could probably do 2 years at $4 million. So since we have so much money, why not bring everyone back to the team? Kiefer Sherwood, you want 4.4, but we'd actually have to give you significantly more because that's not even close to your contract interest. So yeah, he's not coming back. Trent Frederick, on the other hand, $3.3 million. We got lots of money. I can give that to you. I'll do $3 million for the next 2 years. Trent Frederick's going to continue to return. Jackson Lacombe, I feel like you're going to be asking for way too much here. $5.1 million. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Henry Okiharu, I wouldn't mind bringing you back. You played some good 3rd pairing minutes, but not at $4.8 million. So I guess I'm not really bringing anyone else back except for Trent Frederick. So after the trade deadline, Yukon didn't look too bad. 9th in the entire league, a 46, 28, and 8 record. But next season, we're going to be even better. Landon DuPont's going to be jumping onto the team. We're going to have a franchise potential defenseman playing alongside Lane Hutson. Hutson, we're going to have a lot of top talent on this team. Whether or not that talent shows up, we're yet to see. However, this team's showing a lot of good signs here. Dustin Wolf's been an amazing goaltender. We just got to start winning these important games, and the important games start right now. We're taking on the LA Kings in the first round. LA is going to be a tough matchup, but I think Yukon can hold their own. But whatever we do, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves here. We got to take one game at a time. We're going to be allowing 4 goals in game number 1, but we're responding in game 2. We just need to play great defense, and then we won't have to worry. We allowed 6 goals right after I made that statement. Don't allow a ton of goals here. We're going to be stealing that one 4-3. Can we close out in game 6? Because I know if we go to game 7, we're going to lose, and we're closing out in game 6. So we held our own against the LA Kings, but now we got to hold our own against the Chicago Blackhawks, who upset the Edmonton Oilers. If you're going to upset the Edmonton Oilers, you must have something going for you. So defense, defense, defense. That's the only thing we're concerned about right now. I know for a fact we're going to be able to score enough goals, but can we keep the puck out of our own net? The answer is no. Like, this team's having a tough time keeping the puck out of their own net, and I don't really know why that's the case. During the regular season, we continue to be one of the best defensive teams. Once the postseason comes around, we just start allowing goals like crazy, but we're scoring 3 unanswered here and forcing game 7. That was a great defensive performance right there, only allowing 1 goal, but we still got to win a couple more. I think a couple seconds ago I said we were off to game 7. That is clearly not the case. We were down 3-1 in the series, we're off to game 6. We have to win game 6, and then we got to win game 7 here, and things aren't looking good. We're down 2-0, but watch this amazing third period we're about to have. Okay, we allowed 4 goals and lost 4-2. This wasn't that great of a third period. Now, last season, I said within 3 years we'd be winning a Stanley Cup. That means next season we have to win one. This team has to lock in, and we got to get ourselves a Stanley Cup next season. Kemba on the first line didn't actually look too bad. During the regular season, he only had 10 points in 19 games, but he had 7 goals. Once he plays a full season with Michkov and Celebrini, I guarantee he can get those numbers up. Like in the postseason, he had 8 points in 12 games, so he's showing some potential right now. When it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, I know you're the guy for us. You did struggle during the postseason, but based on your track record during the regular season, you can be the guy for sure. Now, the draft certainly hasn't gone our way, but at least we're going to be walking away with a mediumly potential goaltender. We're drafting him 155th overall, but outside this selection, we're not walking away with anything great. Now, we got a lot of money to work with, like $18 million in cap space. So Kiefer Sherwood, what are you actually looking for here? You want $4 million? We could probably get this down to 3.8 and bring you back to the team. We actually might be able to do less than that. How about 3.6 million? 3.6 for Kiefer Sherwood on a 2-year deal? Why not? He can return to the team. Jackson Lacombe, you're looking for $5 million. I don't want to do that. Henry Hardy, I'm assuming you're looking for basically the exact same. You want 4.8. I don't want to do that. So yeah, we're going to be losing a couple pieces, but Kiefer Sherwood, I guess you can return. Then again, you're 33 years old. Maybe I shouldn't have given you a 2-year deal. You know what? We'll make it work. Now, Landon Dupont, I'm not going to lie, you've disappointed me a little bit. You're only a 76 overall. I thought you were going to be up to an 80 overall, so I'm not really comfortable bringing you onto the team quite yet, so we're going to have to bring some defensemen onto the team. Meanwhile, Matt Savoy, I'm comfortable with you playing on the second line, so here's $5 million for the next 3. So he's going to be sticking around. Nick Hague, I'm probably going to have to re-sign you, because we're going to need somebody to play while Landon Dupont's not here. So Hague, you're going to be playing some second pairing minutes for us, 4.8 million for the next 3. I'm going to need you to hold it down for me. Meanwhile, Kuzmenko, Mason Appleton will just write your guys' contracts. So Cormier, you fit the bill of playing third pairing minutes for us, so here's 1.2 for the next 2 years. You're going to be accepting that immediately. Now we just need a right side defenseman on a cheap contract. And who is that going to be? Well, I haven't actually found that player yet. I'm thinking it might be Caden Korzak, and for $800K for the next 2 years, he can definitely be that guy for us. Yeah, he's only a 79 overall, but you're playing third pairing minutes for me. You're not going to be on the ice that much. Alright, so we really didn't change too much when it came to the forward core. We're basically just going to run it back with the exact same guys. We're just going to hope that they can score more this season. This is terrible logic. We did switch up the defensive pairings a little bit. Osborne's going to play first pairing minutes for us. Owen Power's moved down to the second pairing. Also, Johnson's going to be jumping in, 22 years old. He's up to a 79 overall. So I think it's about time to get some NHL minutes. Meanwhile, when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, you continue to be the number 1 for us. Also, that medium start potential goaltender that we drafted that started off as like a 71 overall, he's now backing up Dustin Wolf, so we got ourselves a decent pairing here. Alright, I can't gas up what Yukon's done this season. Like, we're 4th in the entire league. Look at Florida. They've already clinched a playoff spot, a 58-4 record. They have played 62 games this season. They have played 6 less games than the Carolina Hurricanes, but have 11 points more. No matter what I say about the Yukon Youngins, Florida did better. Like, we have an okay offense here. Florida's is significantly better. Almost a goal and a half more per game. We have a good defense. Florida's is better. Nothing Yukon is doing this season competes with Florida. Logan Stankoven's currently leading the way with 58 points. The one concern I have with this team is just the offense being really bad. Like, our offense should be better than this, but it isn't. Like, we just can't score goals here. Kemmel, 33 points so far, 15 goals. Can you actually play on that top line? I'm starting to get a little bit concerned with you. Dustin Wolf, your numbers are fantastic right now, and we're not going to make any moves because right now we're a really good team. But Florida is just so incredibly good. there's nothing we can do about it. Now, Florida might have been good after the trade deadline, but I think Yukon actually might have been better. We're finishing second with a 57-20-5 record, 11 points back of Florida. They had a significant lead on us at the trade deadline, but we definitely closed the gap here. However, there is one pretty surprising thing, the fact that we didn't have a point a game scorer here. Not 1 point a game scorer on this team. Celebrini 80 points, Michkov's picking up 77, Matt Savoy 75, Logan Stankovic 73, Lane Hutson 68. He continues to lead the defense with a lot of offense. The big four that we started with have certainly been holding it down. Like, look at Dustin Wolf's numbers. I think you can make the argument out of the 4 players we started with, he's been the most valuable. 48 wins, 3 shouts, a 920 and a 244. Dustin Wolf's been an absolute stud. However, I need him to post these numbers in the postseason. We haven't been able to do that yet. I need Celebrini, Michkov, Lane Hutson, Dustin Wolf. All 4 of those guys have to step up here. There's a lot on the line here. We got to win a Stanley Cup. So we got to set a statement here. Let's sweep the Anaheim Ducks. We're allowing 7 goals in game 1. That's my prediction. We actually won game number 1 for once. I'm a bit surprised here, and we might sweep the Anaheim Ducks unless we collapse in game number 4, and we're collapsing in game number 4. I mean, it wasn't much of a collapse. We lost 2-1. You know what? Sometimes that happens. We'll close it out in game 5 though, 2-1. We're moving on. So Yukon looked pretty good. We're taking down the Anaheim Ducks in 5 games. Now we got to take on the team we took down last season in the LA Kings. Now it kind of sucks we weren't able to sweep the Anaheim Ducks, but how about we just sweep the LA Kings? Do not get swept here. We're currently down 3-1 in the series. Like, we really almost got swept here. What's going on with this team? We were supposed to win a Stanley Cup this season. We were supposed to be the best team in the entire league, and here we are struggling to get out of the second round. We were down 3-0 in the series at one point, and we're going to lose this game unless we have a massive third period. And are we having that big third period? Yes, we are. Logan Stankovic's picking up a critical goal, but we need a big overtime goal right here, and Kemmel's going to be picking up that one. I knew the acquisition of Kemmel was going to work out for us, and now he's picking up big overtime goals. But we do have to realize at one point we were down 3-0 in the series, so we got to win 4 in a row. So we've already won 2 in a row, so how about you just win another 2 games here? We're picking up 3 goals in the first period. We should be able to win this game, and that's what we're going to be doing 5-1. So we've won 3 of the 4 games. Now we just need to win the most important one. So here we go, Yukon. One more victory here moves us into the conference finals, but I need you guys to show up. Quentin Byfield's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Alex Newhook's picking up the second goal of the game. Are the Youngins eventually going to get on the board here? They better find the back of the net eventually, but Michkov's 1 goal is going to be enough, and once again, we're falling in the second round. The second round's really our ops, because this is getting ridiculous. Now this just hurts inside. The LA Kings Stanley Cup champions, that should have been Yukon, but the Yukon Youngins just couldn't find the back of the net when they needed to. Celebrini 10 goals in 12 games, but he couldn't score the most important one. Michkov, he just couldn't find the back of the net here. I don't know what's going on with this team. I'm starting to think Michkov and Celebrini on the first line together is just not going to work. We need a true goal scorer along these guys, so we might have to make some moves here, but I want to run it back one more time. Dustin Wolf, yeah bro, you posted a 937 and a 198. I can't put any blame on you. You were as good as advertised. Lane Hutson, can you just start scoring like 60 goals a season? That would help a lot. You know what? Sometimes things just work out for you. Will Cooley, I'm going to have to trade you away here. Actually, I'm trading Logan Stankovic instead, who's actually locked down longer term. You guys are both locked down for the next 2 years. I guess I'm going to trade Will Cooley away. So Cooley's going to be traded away, and then somebody else is going to have to be traded away here. Maybe Kiefer Sherwood. Yeah, we'll throw Kiefer Sherwood into this trade. So we're going to send both of these assets over to the Rangers for the first overall pick. I am very surprised this is close enough. But you know what? We needed this. We need this to happen right here because y'all don't understand what we're about to bring to this team. I was talking about how we needed a true goal scorer. Well, explain to me how Robert Ragnarsson isn't a true goal scorer. Franchise potential, sniper, who's also a gem. Bro's checked all the boxes here. 82 overall. Welcome to the team. We just got our sniper for the first line. We're just going to have to change the lines up a little bit. Well, not really though, because he's going to play on the first line. Kemble's going to drop down to the second line. We're not really changing too much up here. But yeah, we needed a sniper like him on the team. This changes everything. And we're also going to be getting another gem here in the draft with the 28th overall. Things are going our way. A 72 overall offensive defenseman. We can't miss right now. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. A mediumly potential player in the second round. This is the greatest draft of all time. It's hit after hit after hit. So Ragnarsson's already been signed to the team. Landon DuPont's going to be signed next. So we're going to be adding 2 franchise potential players. We're building a super team here. We have $23 million in cap space. But the question is, are these guys going to be able to step up and are they going to help us win? We're going to find out pretty quick. All right, now extensions shouldn't be that difficult considering we basically have an unlimited amount of cap space to work with. Like we have over $30 million, 36.6 8.725 to be exact. So yeah, I don't think re-signing players is going to be an issue here. Logan Stankoven, 8.9 million. You're returning to the team. Kemmel, you're looking for 5.5 million. How about we do 4.9 million? 4.9 for the next two. That works for me. So Kemmel's going to be returning as well. Trent Frederick, you play good bottom 6 minutes, and at this price tag, I can definitely keep you around $3 million for the next two. Okay, at this point, we're bringing everyone back to the team because everyone's signing reasonable deals. Taylor Radish, we're going to you next. We're going to be looking at 2.8 for the next 2 years. 2.8 for Taylor Radish, why not? That's less than what he's getting paid right now. Morton Geeky, we're going to bring you back as well. 2.7 for the next three. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. We're just getting way too many good deals done. And the good deals even continue with defensemen here. Cormier, $1.2 million for the next 2 years. You're an 81 overall defenseman. You should be asking for about $15 million. Caden Korzak will do 1.9 for the next 2 years. That's an incredible deal as well. And then I guess we're bringing everyone back to the team. Johnson, 1.8 for the next two. That was ridiculous. And then when it comes to these goaltenders, I'm assuming they're even going to sign reasonable contracts. Our backup's going to be signed for $900K for the next 2 years. And then our AHL goaltender, he's going to be signed for the exact same thing. So yeah, everyone's coming back to the team. We don't have to make any changes. We'll probably make a couple free agent moves though, considering we have $23 million to work with. So let's just take a look at the expected salary for some of the top UFAs. Svechnikov, $17 million. Protas, $12 million. Mason Marchment, $8 million. Then you get down to some of the 85s. Kevin Fiala, $6.4 million. Barrett Hayton, $6.2. And then there's Mason Appleton, $3.4 million. So Mason Appleton, I didn't plan on bringing you back to the team, but here's $3.5 million. So Mason Appleton's going to be returning. Let's go try to find some other really good contracts. Berggren, you're not looking for too much, but how does 2.2 for the next two sound? You can man our fourth line. And then Philip Mazar, how about 2.8 for the next 3 years? So with all those deals right there, we should have enough players now and we should be ready to roll. But you know what? We'll actually make one more move here, and this is a massive overpayment, but you know what? I don't care because we have so much money. Ty Dellandrea, I'll give you $5.9 million for 1 season. Like, you only want a 1 year contract. I have a lot of money to spend, so yeah, here you go. Also, I guess we could try to do this. Mason Marchment, let's make this a 1 year deal and I'll just overpay you a ton. Like, we have a ridiculous amount of cap space. I'm pretty sure I can convince you to join this team. So how about I do $12 million for 1 season? That's way more than what you're asking for. If you accept, that's great. If you don't, not the end of the world. All right, apparently bro didn't want 12 M's. You know what? It's the way she goes. All right, Landon DuPont, the type of progression that you just had over the next 2 years is so ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen it before. So the forward core looks great here. I wonder what our defense looks like. Well, Landon DuPont's now up to a 91 overall. Exactly 1 year ago, he was a 76 overall. Now he's a 91 overall, playing on the top pairing alongside Lane Hutson. Owen Power and Osborne are going to hold it down here on the second pairing. Yeah, this team better win a Stanley Cup this season. I don't know what more we could do. Dustin Wolf's even up to a 91 overall. What more could we possibly do for this team to win a Stanley Cup? I have no clue, but we better show up. Also, because I don't want to trade any assets away, we're actually just going to simulate right to the end of the season. Like, we have enough money to make a trade at the deadline, but you know what? I don't want to give up assets here. I want to rock with the team we have. Now, one thing that we have to understand here is over the next 3 years, truthfully, this should be the worst the team performs. The very worst we're going to do over the next 3 years is a 50-27-5 record, because Landon DuPont should technically keep on getting better. Ragnarsson should technically keep on getting better, but where was this man? What did he do this season? Oh no, you're a bust. You were a bust, my good sir. You were an 88 overall. You picked up 39 points on the first line. You were playing first line minutes, 19 goals, 20 assists for 39 points. You were a sniper. Taylor Radish had more goals than you. He was playing on the bottom six. This is inexcusable. What you just did this season, I will never forgive you for that. Dustin Wolf, you did what you could this season. 40 wins, 5 shots, a 916, a 259. But what did I just witness? Bro is an 88 overall franchise potential player, and he picked up 39 points for us. Not only do we have to win a Stanley Cup this season, we have to win one next season, and we have to win one the year after that. No excuses. I don't want to see that ever again. No, like, you really picked up 39 points playing on the first line. If you don't pick up 39 points in this postseason run, I might trade you away. There is a very good chance I'm about to trade this man, because this is ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous. We just brought in 2 franchise potential players. One of them was 91 overall DuPont. The other was Ragnarsson, who developed into an 88 overall. We lost in 5 games. We allowed 7 goals in game number 1, and we scored 6. We allowed 5 in game 2. We got a shot in game 3. Dustin Wolf did what he could. No, this is ridiculous. We're not even looking at stats. We're immediately moving to next season. This team is a disgrace. You know what? I actually changed my mind. We have to look at the numbers. We have to embrace the highs and the lows for this team, and we got to look at these lows. I need to know what our star players did during that postseason run. I need to know who let us down here. And what a surprise. Just looking at the names already, we know who let us down. It was our franchise potential star in Ragnarsson. 88 overall, he picked up 2 goals for 2 points. You are a franchise potential player and I already want to trade you away because you're a complete fraud. Like, I gave you Celebrini to play with. I gave you Michkov to play with. And even with both of these guys at your side, Michkov, 90 overall. Celebrini is like a 92, maybe even 93. He's a 92 overall. Even with those 2 superstars at your side, 2 goals. Dustin Wolf, I don't even want to look at your numbers. You picked up a shutout. You did everything you could. The team just said, no, we're not going to score in front of you. We're not going to give you any support. Now, at this point, free Dustin Wolf. I want to trade Dustin Wolf away just so we can go have success elsewhere, because bro is showing up season in and season out, and we're just like, nah, I don't really feel like scoring goals this postseason run. We're just going to see if we can win every game 1-0. No, this team is showing no support towards Dustin Wolf. They're not even respecting this man. The Nashville Predators are Stanley Cup champions. No, this team is a joke. Now, things haven't been going our way in the playoffs. However, they have been going our way when it comes to the draft, and now we're getting a lowly potential player in the first round, 65 overall Yoshi. He's a power forward, could develop into a really good player. Look at those numbers in juniors, 34 goals, 40 assists. He's looking pretty solid at only 18 years old. Like, this is exactly what I mean. With the 92nd overall pick, a medium league potential grinder who will definitely trade in the future. As we all know, I hate grinders. Now, this is actually starting to get a little bit ridiculous. A low league potential player with 158th overall. It's just hit after hit. No misses so far in the draft. If only we didn't miss in the playoffs and we could actually win from time to time. Okay, this is ridiculous. We just got another low league potential player. We can win in the draft, but we can't win in the playoffs. How does that work? So we got ourselves $11 million in cap space, and the only player that we have to re-sign is Ty Dellandrea. I think we're just going to let Ty Dellandrea walk here. Yaskin, I will sign you to your entry-level contract though. 73 overall at only 21 years old. You could potentially be a solid backup goalie for us. And then of course I'll sign these 2 rookies right here. Now we definitely have enough cap space to bring Owen Power back to the team, but how much is he going to be looking for? 10.8 million. Now we have to understand, next season we're going to have to hand out 2 extensions to 2 franchise potential players, and they're going to want absolute bags. Can we afford to give Owen Power $10 million? I don't think so. I think we're actually going to have to trade Owen Power away. Technically we could just ride out his contract, but we'd be better off trading him away. So Owen Power, you played some great minutes for this team, but I have to trade you. We don't have any other choice. Berggren, I will bring you back to the team. 1.7 for the next 3 years. That's a really good deal. And then Lars Steiner, 800k for the next 2. So yeah, everyone besides Owen Power is probably coming back. All right, so on top of paying Landon DuPont, we're also going to have to give Lane Hutson an extension. So paying both of these guys is going to be big dollars on top of another franchise potential player. Yeah, we have to trade Owen Power away. All right, so here's what I'm thinking with Owen Power. We send him over to the Red Wings and we bring in Matt Schaefer, who's locked down for the next 4 years at 4.8 million. So we're freeing up about 3.5 right here. We're also going to get a second round pick in the deal. More than likely, Nick Hague's going to be traded in the future. At least we're going to ride out his contract, so that's going to free up a little more money. I think we're going to have enough money to re-sign everyone in the future, but I guess we're going to find out. More than likely, we're going to have to make some more moves next season. All right, there's literally nothing else I can do to this team. When the postseason comes around, you guys just have to perform. Celebrini is yet to win a Stanley Cup. Michkov is yet to win a Stanley Cup. Lane Hutson is yet to win a Stanley Cup. And Dustin Wolf is also yet to win a Stanley Cup, even though he probably deserves one the most here. I have built you guys the best team imaginable. I have surrounded you 4 players with absolute superstars, yet we can't even make it to the cup final, let alone win. It's time for you guys to wake up and actually show up. Like, I'm done putting the blame on the supporting pieces. Michkov, Celebrini, Lane Hutson, Dustin Wolf, you guys are going to start facing some of the blame. Now, I'm going to lie. I never thought it would reach this point. I didn't think it would be possible for us to reach this point. We're simulating the entire postseason. I'm going to narrate over, but we have to have a conversation about the Yukon Youngins right now, because this team is the biggest dumpster fire I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Right now, we're looking pretty good. We're going to take down the Anaheim Ducks in the first round, moving on to the second round. If we're going to win, we're probably going to win this season, because it would make the least amount of sense for us to actually win here. We're allowing 6 goals in game number 1. We're dropping game 2. We're about to get swept in the second round. We got swept in the second round. We have to trade some of the franchise potential players away, because what I just witnessed makes absolutely no sense. There is no way this Yukon Youngins team was as bad as we were. Like, I can't even explain how bad we were. We had a 41, 30, and 11 record. We were basically 500. Everyone saw this team. Y'all knew who was on this team. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense whatsoever that the Yukon Youngins were this bad. We were 6th in the entire league last season. We should have been even better. But nope, something happened. We started allowing more goals here. I don't know what happened. Like, we were bad defensively, bad offensively. Michkov led the way with 75 points. He had the most points on this team and he wasn't even a point a game. What is wrong with this team? I don't understand why we can't produce. We have so much amazing talent here. Ragnarsson picked up 40 goals this season. He's up to a 92 overall, so he's turning into a superstar. He played alongside Michkov and Celebrini, and they couldn't even be a point a game. All three of them have superstar X factors, and Celebrini was only +1. How in the world does that happen? There is only one thing that could explain what happened this season, and I'm going to go double check it, because the only thing that could possibly explain what happened this season is if our head coach retired on me, I didn't realize it, and we just had some terrible coach. But nope, Rick Tocchet is still here. So I don't know what went wrong, but I'm firing him. Rick Tocchet, you will be fired. There's no explanation for what happened. So you remember how last season I was talking about how we've just been so amazing in the draft? Yeah, that was great last season. Not this season though. Nope. Missed on every prospect. Not only did this team suck during the regular season, we also sucked during the draft. We're not good at anything apparently. Alright, so we have no actual players that we have to re-sign. It's just going to be rookies getting their entry level contracts here. We should be able to re-sign everybody next season, but the real question is, do we actually want to? Because it's not working out. Alright, so we have 3 franchise potential players who all need to be re-signed here. We might as well start with Lane Hutson because he is the one guy who has to come back to this team no matter what, and this is going to be a really good deal. We have $44 million in cap space, by the way, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to keep everyone here. So we're starting with Lane Hutson. We're going to be looking at $10.9 million for the next 6 seasons. Moving on over to Len Dupont. How much is he going to be looking for? He wants 11.5. Len Dupont, I like you and all, but I might trade you. I'm going to be honest, it hasn't worked here. Even though you're a 93 overall, for some reason we just haven't seen a lot of success. Granted, for how much money you're asking for here, we can probably bring you back. Like 10.2 for the next 5 years. Owen Power was looking for a similar contract. And then Ragnarsson, how much are you looking for? 10.6. Yeah, he's returning as well. So everyone's going to be returning to the team, and that's still going to leave us like $10 million in cap space. With that $10 million though, there's a handful of guys that need to be re-signed, including Matt Savoy, Mason Appleton, Nick Hague, Kemmel, Taylor Radish, Brazeau. We're going to be worse next season, and that's not a good sign. I think we're going to ride out a majority of these contracts. Matt Savoy, I'm going to continue to bring you back to the team, but I don't really understand why you're regressing here. Like, you're only an 85 overall. That doesn't make any sense to me. But here's 4.8 for the next 3 years. You're going to continue to play top 6 minutes for me. Nick Hague, we're probably just going to ride out your contract, especially since you're looking for $6.3 million. Mason Appleton, I think we're going to ride out your contract. Kemmel, I'll bring you back for 1 more year. Like, you're going to be accepting a really cheap contract, so how about 3.8 for the next 2 years? And then I think that's going to leave us with enough money for 1 more player here, but I don't really know who we're going to be able to re-sign. Johnson, I guess you can return to the team. Like, how much are you looking for? 1.1 million. How about we do a 3-year deal? Actually, I take that back. We're just doing a 2-year deal at 1.2 million. So I think these are really going to be the only contracts we hand out right now. I think we're just going to end up riding out all these contracts. Okay, so we might have been absolutely terrible last season, but that's fine because our first line is so incredibly elite and we have a different coach. Ignore the fact that the line chemistry is basically the exact same because our new coach might have the exact same fits as our old coach, but that doesn't matter. Len Dupont, I'm going to move you down to the second pairing to play alongside Matt Schaefer. That's going to spread out the offense a bit more. Maybe we'll have more success doing that. When it comes to Dustin Wolf, he is regressing. Over the past 2 years, he has dropped from 91 overall to an 86, and he's only 30 years old. We're not going to win a Stanley Cup, are we? I built a super team, and this super team won't win a Stanley Cup. So we brought in a new coach, and things weren't looking good at the trade deadline. However, we picked it up, and we were almost perfect since then. 7th in the entire league, a 50, 29, and 3 record. But out of all of the players on this team, Ragnarsson had by far the best season we've seen in a long time. He picked up 72 goals. Last season, Michkov led the way, and how many points did he have? He only had like 70 some. Bro had 75 points last season and led this team. Ragnarsson had 72 goals this season. Yeah, I think we're starting to see a little bit of success here. Just looking at the plus minuses, I think this team's about to step it up and we're going to see a lot more success in the future. However, the one thing that does suck, we are losing a lot of players. Like Taylor Radish isn't returning. We're going to be losing basically the entire bottom 6, but at least we saw 1 year of success. But this success means nothing here if we don't win a Stanley Cup, and that's what we have to do right now. We are yet to win a Stanley Cup with our big 4. Lane Hutson, Michkov, Celebrini, Dustin Wolf. All 4 of these guys are yet to win a Stanley Cup together until now. We have gone through some dark times with this Yukon team. However, things are about to bounce back. We're going to take over the league and we're going to go 16-0 in the postseason. Yep, we're going to go 16-0 in the postseason after losing game number 1. But don't worry, we're winning 2 straight after that. Make that 3 straight. We're going to ignore that game number 1 loss. We're going to close it out in 5 games here and move on. Or we'll close it out in 6 games. Whatever you do, do not blow a 3-1 series lead. I don't think I could afford that. We're not even jumping into this game. We're just going to sit simulate it, and we're going to hope for the best here. We want it. We probably didn't deserve to win that game, but we're moving on. Yeah, I'm just not feeling confident with this team. I don't know what it is. We have all the talent in the world here. We have all the superstars that we could possibly need, but for some reason, it just doesn't work. We split the series with the San Jose Sharks. There's no reason we should be splitting the series right now. We should have swept this team. All we have to do is close down game number 6, and we're going to be moving on here. Nope, we're simulating game 7. I'm not jumping into it. We're just going to sim this game, and we lost. You are kidding me. What do I have to do in order to see success? I can't build a better team than this. Like, I truly can't. The lowest overalls on this team are like 85 overall players, and you're telling me 85 overalls on our 4th line isn't enough. Celebrini 14 points, Logan Stankoven 14, Michkov's picking up 13, Lant Dupont 10 points, Ragnarson's picking up 9 here, but where is that man Lane Hutson? Where is he? 7 points in 14 games. He wasn't good enough here, but this is getting ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. And then Dustin Wolf, you decided to post an 888 and a 318 for me. We are trying to win a Stanley Cup, and you posted those numbers. Like, I don't know what's wrong with this man, but he can just not perform in the postseason. His last 3 postseason appearances, he has been atrocious. But he's the guy that we got to rock with, and he's the goalie we got to win with. I'm starting to lose faith. No, like, seriously, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do moving forward. We lost to the 4th seeded San Jose Sharks, by the way, so they were a wild card team. We lost to a wild card team in the 2nd round. Nothing to say. But what am I actually supposed to do with this team? What am I supposed to do to make us better than what we are right now? Because I don't think there's any realistic way we can be better. I have built the best team I can possibly build, and we just don't win. Now, I'm going to be honest, I can't even celebrate prospects like this in the draft. Medium top 6. That's good enough for the 1st round, but you're telling me we still can't win a Stanley Cup. Like, I actually haven't figured out what we're supposed to do here. Moving forward, who do we bring in? Who do we trade? What do we actually do in order to make this team better? Like, I can't think of anything that makes a lot of sense for us. Like, our defense is set. Like, we have superstars on superstars here. When it comes to the top 6, I don't want to replace anyone in the top 6. I think we have an amazing top 6 here. The plus minuses looked amazing last season. We were scoring like crazy. Everything we were doing last season was positive. However, when we got into the playoffs, none of it translates. Like, every year, year after year, our success just never translates. Like, it's one thing to be losing in the Stanley Cup final or even losing in the conference finals. Like, I can live with that. But I don't even recall if we've made it to the conference finals. I think we've made it to the conference finals once in this video. We're losing in the 1st and 2nd round constantly. Like, we're almost as bad as the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's definitely not a team you want to be compared to. Like, we're in the utter trenches here. Nothing good is happening for this team. Like, it's inexcusable at this point. So here's all the bottom 6 and depth pieces we're going to be losing here. I don't plan on bringing any of them back for a couple of reasons. 1, they're going to want too much money, but 2, a lot of them are really old. Like Mason Appleton, 36 years old, Trent Frederick, 34, Nick Hague, 33, Justin Brazeau, 34, Taylor Radish, 34. We got to enter a new era, and we just got to bring some young guys in. So another season's passed, and that means more extensions have to be given out. Michkov's going to be next, and how much is he looking for? Everyone's accepting reasonable deals here, and that makes it actually a bit more infuriating. Like, by Michkov signing a deal like this, that gives us $13 million to work with. So we're going to be able to bring Osborne back to the team, and he's playing some good first line minutes. However, we're not going to bring him back quite yet because we're going to have to wait until he signs a long-term deal. But even when we sign him to a deal like that, and then we use that extra money elsewhere, it's still not enough. Also, I'm just going to sign a handful of these other guys to really cheap contracts, $850K for the next 2 years. Yeah, works for me. All right, we got to rebuild the bottom 6. You guys saw how many players we lost. Clearly, we're not going to be able to recover unless we make some moves here. So a prospect, a 2nd and 4th round is going to be sent over to Buffalo. We're bringing in Pearson, 20 years old, 82 overall. He can play minutes for us. Now, this is the next deal we're going to make. We're trading one of our medium league potential players away, but you have to understand he's 20 years old and he's only a 59 overall. He's not going to develop into a star. Malatesta, Klingberg, and a 3rd round pick is going to be acquired. Those are going to be 2 more great players for the bottom 6. Now, I found this really good defenseman in free agency, William Cameron, 24 years old, 79 overall. We're locking him down for the next 3 years at $1.4 million. He can definitely play 3rd pairing minutes for us. Also, we can bring Zach Morin in, $850K for the next 2 years. He still has low league potential. Maybe we can unlock something. Okay, so we all know what the goal is. It's to win a Stanley Cup. Celebrini, Michkov, I've surrounded you 2 guys with Ragnarsson, 96 overall, and he scored 72 goals last season. On the 2nd line, we have Logan Stankoven, Matt Savoy. Although Matt Savoy is only an 86 overall, he's still been producing for us. We also just brought in this young rookie, 84 overall, medium league potential. He's a power forward. I'm expecting him to perform pretty well in the 2nd line. The bottom 6, yeah, we don't have a lot of talent here anymore, but Kemmel's still an 86 overall, so we can lead these guys. When it comes to the defense, that's spectacular. Like, there's 0 weaknesses here whatsoever. When it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf is up to an 87 overall. He just keeps jumping up and down when it comes to overall. Yaskin, you're an 85 overall. If you surpass Dustin Wolf in overall next season, I'm going to have to trade you because Dustin Wolf has must be our number one here. So another season begins. How are we going to be disappointed in this one? Also, I just want to point out who we're playing in game number 1 of the preseason. Shout out to Jack Reeves, stick on the ice legend. If we don't win this season, I fully give up. If we can't win with this team posting 59 wins and Ragnarsson picking up 119 points, it's going to be impossible for us. Like everyone on this team performed this season. Ragnarsson 119, Celebrini 108, Michkov's picking up 90, Matt Savoy's picking up 77. I can't ask for a better season from our big three. When it comes to goaltending, I can't ask for Dustin Wolf to do any more. He picked up 53 wins and 2 shutouts this season. Win when it matters most. We're taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round. All of the postseason problems that we've had in the past, they're in the past. We're a different team now. Yukon's going to lock in. I cannot stress this enough. We are a different team. We've learned from our mistakes. We're going to start winning games here. We're winning game number 1. That doesn't happen very often. We're winning game 2 as well. We never win 2 straight games. We never win 3 in a row. Can we sweep the Vegas Golden Knights? Yukon's built different right now. So we swept the Vegas Golden Knights. That's something that I don't think we've done yet. We're moving into the second round. Let's win 4 more games. We just got to take it one game at a time. We have Vancouver up next. We can't take them lightly. Like normally I would say we're going to dominate the Vancouver Canucks and they don't stand a chance here. However, we've seen Yukon in the past. We know what this team is capable of and we just know how they can completely collapse. But we're 8-0, something we've never done before. So we've won 8 straight games. If we can win another 8 here, we're going to be Stanley Cup champions and the boys are finally going to be bringing a Stanley Cup to Yukon. Is that going to be happening though? Probably not. We're bound to lose. So I just need 4 more wins here, but let's take it one game at a time. We won game number 1, but we've dropped back to back after that. Luckily, we're going to be winning game 4. We need to win game 5. We can't afford to lose this one right here. Why am I not surprised? I just knew we would lose game number 5. We'll win game 6 though. We'll probably win it 7-0 or something, and then we'll lose in game 7. We're going to get our hopes up here in game 6, only to lose in game 7. I've seen it time and time again here. The Youngins are going to win this game and then proceed to lose in game 7. We know how it works. We know the trends. We know how things work here. We're about to lose to the Dallas Stars. It doesn't matter how good this team is. They will always find a way to choke. What a surprise. 2 goals allowed in the first period. We might be responding in the second period, but watch this disaster class we're going to see in the third period and watch this team lose. You know what? I take it back. Why would we lose in the third period? We just got to make it worse. Celebrini's going to pick up a goal with 42 seconds left in the game. Now we're going to lose in overtime. That's how it works. A shorthanded goal, by the way. Just had to point that out. Hold on. We need to see that. Celebrini gave us a chance heading into overtime. And how did we lose that game? We lost it to a shorthanded goal. Elias Pettersson's picking up a penalty a minute 36 into overtime. It took 1 minute and 12 seconds later for Dallas to score the winner. It's laughable at this point. Now, it would only make sense for the Dallas Stars to win the Stanley Cup. Of course, the Dallas Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup here. Yukon can't make it out of the conference finals. We made it to the conference finals finally, but we're going to immediately lose in the conference finals. Ragnarsson, 21 points. Celebrini, 17. Michkov's picking up 16. Lane Hutson, 11. The big 3 stepped up for us, but how did the big 4 do? Pretty solid. Dustin Wolf, 11 wins, 1 shutout, a 912 and a 268. You did everything you could. The big 4 on this team stepped up when they had to. And even when they all stepped up, nah, it's still not enough. Nope. You guys still can't win a Stanley Cup. You're still not good enough. I don't know what else we could possibly do here. Also, we still need to re-sign Osborne. So before we even get to the draft here, I'm bringing him back to the team. And we should be able to get a pretty cheap deal done with him because I'm giving him a full no movement. So we're going to be looking at 10.8 million with a full no movement. We actually probably do a little bit less than that. How about 10.5 for the next 7? So 10.5 for the next 7. We're saving about $2 million. Osborne, you're returning to the team. Geeky, Malatesta, both of you guys will probably walk. I mean, Malatesta, barring what you're looking for, I guess I can bring you back. I don't want to do 2.2 million. I'll just let you walk. No, I guess it's nice and all that we got a lowly potential player in the first round, but we didn't get him with the last pick in the first round. And if we got him with the last pick in the first round, that means we would have won a Stanley Cup. Clearly, that did not happen. I guess we'll take this medium start potential goaltender who's a gem. He's a 55 overall. Unless he has some crazy development, he's probably not going to do anything for us. Now, we're going to get one last good prospect in the draft. We're going to be selecting Reese, lowly potential, 51 overall sniper. Let's face it, with the way our luck's been in this video, he's not going to turn into anything. So we got 6 million in cap space. More than Geeky and Malatesta, both you guys aren't going to return to the team. You're getting up there in age. Like, more than Geeky, you're 34, so you're certainly not coming back to the team. Malatesta, though, I'm taking it back. We are bringing you back. So I'll do 2.1 million for the next 3 years. I guess you're going to be returning. And then, of course, we'll sign all these rookies. Now, there's a lot of guys that we got to bring back here, and it's probably going to cost us a pretty penny. However, we got to start with Celebrini, and he's not doing us any favors here. He's finally going to be asking for a lot of money. Out of the big four that we do have, Celebrini's taking most of the money. So this is what Celebrini's contract is going to be looking like. Of course, he's getting a no movement, but we're going to be able to get it down to 14.1 million. So that's going to leave us with another 14 to work with. So outside of Celebrini, we got Logan Stankoven, Schaefer, Kemmel, Vicentine. We got to re-sign all these guys. And Stankoven and Vicentine, I think you guys are going to be the two guys sticking around out of these four. Because Vicentine, I think we can lock you down to an 8-year deal at like $5 million. So we'll do 4.5 for the next 8 years. So more than likely, you're going to stick around for the rest of the rebuild. Then we'll give Logan Stankoven 10 million. I actually take that back. We're going to do less than $10 million with Logan Stankoven. We're going to be looking at 9.4 for the next 6. But do I actually want to give him that? Because if I give him a no movement, then we're not going to be able to trade this man in the future. And we're going to have him until he's like 37. But I guess the no movement actually doesn't increase his contract interest enough. So how about we just do 9.5 for the next 6? So Logan Stankoven's going to stick around. Celebrini's going to stick around. Vicentine's going to stick around. All right, we're starting to run into a couple issues here. Celebrini, you're 27 years old, so you're still pretty young. Michkov, you're 28 years old, so you're young as well. Moving on over to Lane Hutson, he's 29 years old, so he's about to hit 30 years old. And then once you hit 30 years old, the regression comes pretty quick in NHL 25. But then there's Dustin Wolf, who's already 32 years old. I don't know how many great years he has left as our goaltender, but time's winding down for Dustin Wolf. We got to get a Stanley Cup really quick here. So there really isn't anything we have to talk about. We were first in the entire league. Granted, the only reason Chicago was the first in the entire league is they didn't lose a single game in overtime. We lost 7 games in overtime. We know what we have to do. It is very clear what we have to do here. We have to win 16 games in the playoffs. I know that might sound incredibly unrealistic, but that's what we have to do. In order to win a Stanley Cup, you have to win 16 games in the playoffs. I think the Youngins are just learning this. I think they only thought they had to win 12 games in the playoffs, maybe even 8. Nope, you have to win 16 games to be the Stanley Cup champs. So how about you win 16 games? Like, I don't know why it's so incredibly difficult for this team to just win 16 games in the playoffs. All I'm asking for is 16 victories, not 20 victories, not 25, not 30 victories, 16. We're sweeping the Minnesota Wild. This is a good start. So we swept the Minnesota Wild, but that doesn't mean anything because that's only 4 victories in the playoffs. We need to win 12 more games. Like, I feel like at this rate, we just have to go 16-0. If we go 16-0, then we're going to be sitting pretty. We just lost 1 game. We're about to blow a 3-0 series lead. I can see it all happening. We're going to blow this lead. Okay, never mind. No, we aren't. We're moving into the conference finals. We've been in the conference finals before, and we've lost in the conference finals before. That won't happen here. The Nashville Predators took down the Chicago Blackhawks. This is our chance to win. We finally have a chance to win here. We just can't choke when it matters. We better not get swept here. We're down 3-1. We were gifted the Stanley Cup this season. Chicago fell to Nashville. We were guaranteed to make the Stanley Cup final, and then we proceeded to not score any goals. The goal scoring completely vanished. We're falling to the Nashville Predators. We're not winning a Stanley Cup this season. This is beyond ridiculous. Like, Chicago won 60 games, Nashville beat them. So maybe Nashville is a great team. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks. They must have got past them for a reason. Nashville's winning the Stanley Cup. That just makes things significantly worse here. We can't catch a break. Like, if Nashville's beating Chicago, clearly Nashville was good. But why can we just not win? We had 4 guys over a point a game here. I can't ask for any more. Everyone stepped up when they had to. Everyone played their role here, and it still wasn't enough. I don't know what it's going to take in order for us to win a Stanley Cup, but I'm starting to think it might be impossible. Like, seriously, we have such a good team here. The team is so elite, but we just can't win the most important games. Year after year, we finish as one of the top teams. So when you finish as a top 3 team for 5 years in a row, why would you change anything? You continue to be a top 3 team. You just got to keep riding it out with the same team. But for some reason, they just can't figure it out. Now, I can tell you right now, this goalie will be traded. High elite potential. We got him with the 64th overall pick. He should have some decent trade value, and we're going to capitalize on that. We're bringing in a superstar defenseman. A superstar defenseman that's also on a really cheap contract, because we need somebody to play some cheap minutes for us. Could we get 2 highly potential goaltenders? I highly doubt it. But hey, I'll take 2 highly potential goaltenders. We're trading both of you guys. But you know what? Who needs 2 highly potential goaltenders when you're getting a mediumly potential goaltender in the 3rd round? Like, we're only drafting goalies here, but all of them are superstars. So Matt Schaefer's being qualified as an RFA, and then we're going to trade him away and get some assets. Kemmel, Berggren, Johnson, all of you guys are going to be walking. Pearson, Klingberg, you guys are probably going to be walking as well here. Like, we don't have a ton of cap space to work with, but you know what? 1.3 for Pearson, I guess we can do that. Klingberg, hopefully you're going to be asking for basically the exact same thing. You want $2 million for the next 2 years. How about $1.9 million for the next 2? If you're willing to accept that, I'll bring you back to the team. But if you're not willing to accept that, we probably won't. But it looks like he will be accepting that deal. And when it comes to everyone else, I think they're just going to be walking. I'm not too sure if we're going to have enough money for Matt Savoy here because I'm expecting he's going to be wanting a bag. 12.7 million. I don't think you're worth that, Matt, so I'm going to trade you away. But also the fact that we have that much cap space makes me think we got to re-sign Dustin Wolf, and it looks like we do have to do that. He's wanting 10.6 million. Yeah, Matt Savoy, you're definitely leaving the team here. Luckily, we are going to keep Dustin Wolf around, but $10 million for the next 4 years, that's a terrible contract considering you're about to start regressing, but we have to give it to you. Yaskin, we'll probably trade you away because we're not going to be able to re-sign you. This team's going to be losing some assets, but you know what? We can make some big trades. All right, so here's the plan. Matt Savoy is going to be traded over to the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to bring in Courtney. He's under contract for the next 3 years at $5.5 million. He can be a good second pairing defenseman for us, and his contract isn't too hefty right now. They're going to be saying no to that. We'll throw some picks in the deal. Like, here's a second rounder as well, and that should be enough to get this one done. Vancouver's accepting, but that's just trade number one. So after some quick math that I just did, I can guarantee you right now, we are going to have no bottom six or third pairing defense. Like, we are going to be rocking 70 overalls, but with the amount of superstar talent, we should be able to win. Now, this is going to be by far the toughest deal that we have to make. Landon DuPont, I have to trade you. We don't have any other choice. We just don't have enough free cap space here. I can't afford to pay 3 different defensemen $10 million each, so I'm going to send you over to Florida. We're getting a mediumly potential center who's only like a 79 overall, a decent young prospect, but we're also getting 3 first-round picks, and I really care about those first-round picks because I think Florida's going to be a terrible team. So with the amount of money we freed up there, we're going to be able to bring Dustin Wolf back. We have 3 great defensemen under contract. We just need to make a couple small signings now. All right, so we're going to make this deal with the Colorado Avalanche. Sale and Blake are both going to be joining the team. They're going to play some bottom 6 minutes. Yaskin's going to be sent over. We're going to have to throw a couple picks in this deal, but more than likely only have to be like a 3rd rounder or something. So here's a 3rd round pick from the Youngins. Hopefully that's going to be enough, and it looks like it will be. Now I think we just need to sign 1 defenseman. So Burgundy, you're going to be the defense we bring to the team. 1.7 for 1 year. The team's complete now. Now, you know what's crazy? We just made a couple changes to this team, so hopefully we're going to get a different result, but we all know that's not going to happen. Even though we made moves to improve this team based on the cap situation we were in, we're still going to lose. Like, it doesn't matter. We're going to completely collapse when it matters. Dustin Wolf is now starting to regress. He's dropped to an 86 overall on the exact start potential. He is 33 years old. We probably have 3 good years left of competing, and then we're not going to be able to win with this man in between the pipes. So Yukon, it's time to absolutely lock in here. No more messing around. This is actually beyond ridiculous. Like, I've been rebuilding this team for 10 years now, and we still haven't made it to the Stanley Cup final. But don't worry, we've been top 3 in the entire league for basically the past 5 years, but that doesn't matter because we're just going to lose in the postseason. All right, face cam off. We're not looking at stats, simulating the entire postseason. If we don't win this season, then something's wrong with the game. The game is completely broken if we don't win right here. The Yukon Youngins did something so incredibly impressive, it's actually ridiculous. How are we down in the series against the Anaheim Ducks? We are not losing in the first round. We can't afford to lose in the first round. If we lose in the first round, I might end this video. Okay. This is what you guys don't understand. We were so incredibly good this season. Like, you remember when the Boston Bruins broke the record a handful of years ago? Yeah, they got nothing on us. Because what did we do this season? 67, 14, and 1. We won 67 games. That's how good we were. We had a 75 goal scorer. We had 4 guys over 100 points. We had 4 guys over 100 points, 5 guys averaging over a point a game, and then when it came to goaltending, this is what Dustin Wolf did. 48 wins, 3 shouts, a 911, and a 264. Now let's look at what this team did in the postseason. We had 4 point a game scores. But you remember that guy that scored 75 goals for us? He scored 1. Yeah, bro disappeared. Absolutely vanished. Don't know where he went, but he clearly didn't show up for us. When it comes to Dustin Wolf's numbers, what was he up to? Oh, an 896 and a 333. We won 67 games during the regular season. And you're telling me we couldn't even get out of the first round? No, this team's cursed. Yukon is cursed. Also, we got the 10th overall pick, but who cares about that? We won 67 games and still couldn't do anything with it. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit disappointed here. We did have the 10th overall pick, but I wanted to draft Tuppurainen. I was thinking Tuppurainen could be a really good third pairing defenseman for us. Unfortunately, he went 2 picks earlier than he was supposed to. However, we'll just trade for him. So you're going to give me Tuppurainen, and I'll give you the 10th overall, and we'll call it a fair deal. And I'm actually going to be able to get more back because the 10th overall pick has significantly more value than this man. So on top of Tuppurainen, how about you give me guards as well? And is that going to be a fair deal? I think it is. So I'm going to offer this over. So yeah, that's going to be a really easy deal. In Toronto, what are you going to be walking away with? You're going to be getting a 67 overall. So I basically gave you a 67 overall with medium top 6 potential for 2 good prospects. Y'all are lacking. Now this could be a really big deal for us. We're going to trade the 128th overall and the 220th 127th over to the Edmonton Oilers for the 91st overall. Now I know for a fact the player that we're about to draft is going to have the potential that he's supposed to have, but a man can dream, because just imagine with the 91st overall pick, we've got a franchise potential player. We all know it's not going to happen, but it would be pretty cool. Mediumly potential, he's still going to turn out to be a great player for us. Alright, so we got $8.1 million in cap space, but I don't really think we need to bring anyone back here. Aronson, I'll bring you to the team. We're going to sign to your entry-level contract. You're an 80 overall, so you can immediately jump onto the team here. There's a couple of good rookies that we actually have here. We have another 74 overall rookie, so we'll sign him to the team. When it comes to everyone else, they're probably going to be signed two-way contracts. Like, I mean, Pearson won't, but we can sign for $1.3 million, so yeah, he can return to the team. Jackson, Blake, Sale, I think I'll let both of you guys walk here. Burgundy, you're probably going to be walking as well. You want $4 million. I'm not doing that. Cameron, how much are you going to be looking for? You want 3.7. I'm not doing that. I guess Blake and Sale, barring what you guys are looking for, we might bring you back. Okay, that's not happening. So yeah, we're going to have a handful of guys leaving the team here. We just don't have the money for all of them. So we re-signed the players that we want to, and now it's time to hand out some extensions. I don't really know who we're going to be re-signing here. Like, Klingberg wants 2.4 million. For the role you're playing on this team, I'm not really too sure if you're worth that. Zach Morin is a fourth line guy. I guess I can give you 1.2 million. That's not too bad. And if I'm willing to pay you that, I guess I can give Klingberg $2.3 million for 1 year. So he'll return to the team as well. Truthfully, I don't think we're really going to do too much here. Now let's just try to stay calm, cool, and collected. But we also have to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room happens to be Dustin Wolf. Now he's dropped to an 85 overall and he's 34 years old. We have to understand he doesn't have 10 years left in him. He maybe has 4. So we have 4 years to win 1 Stanley Cup with this team, because somehow we haven't won 1 Stanley Cup. I don't know how that works. So let's take it 1 game at a time, take it 1 win at a time. Whatever you do, maybe even take it 1 minute at a time. We can't rush the process here. We got to believe in what we've built and just don't do what you've done in the past. So last season we won 67 games. This season we won 53, even though it's the exact same team. Why there was that much of a difference? I have no clue. But you know what? We're not going to question it here. Ragnarsson's picking up 119 points. Celebrini 107. Michkov's picking up 104. Lane Hutson's got 67 points here. Unfortunately, he's never been a point-a-game guy for us, but he's still been an incredible defenseman. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf's an 84 overall. He's lost all of his X factors. He had 44 wins this season, 0 shutouts, a 901 to 297. His numbers look a little bit questionable here, so we're guaranteed to win a Stanley Cup. If Dustin Wolf's not looking good during the regular season, he's going to look amazing in the playoffs, because that's how things work. Like, it would only make sense for Dustin Wolf to struggle a little bit during the regular season, and then this man posts like a 150 during the playoffs. That's the only logical thing that could happen here. We've won the first 2 games. Can we win the first 3? Yes, we can. Dustin Wolf's been amazing so far. Ignore the fact they allowed 4 goals in this game. So we swept the Anaheim Ducks, but as we know, that's not 16 wins in the postseason. That's only 4. We have Vegas up next. So we're taking it 1 minute at a time. We might start taking it 1 second at a time here. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We're dropping game 1. We're dropping game 2. Don't drop game number 3. We're going to be responding in game 3, but we're down 3-1 in the series. The Youngins are never going to win a Stanley Cup. It's going to be impossible for this team to win a Stanley Cup. They just can't get it together. We've won back-to-back games in overtime. I'm just simulating game 7 here. We're going to steal that one away in overtime as well. We made a 3-1 series comeback. We can't stop. We can't stop. We won't stop. 3 straight overtime victories. We've moved into the conference finals. Can we make it to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in Yukon Youngins history? We need to win game 5. Do not drop game 5. What are y'all doing? Like, please just make it to the Stanley Cup final. I don't even care at this point if we get swept in the Stanley Cup final. At least make it to the Stanley Cup final. We have a 1-goal lead entering the 3rd period. Amazing defense. Dustin Wolf, stand on your head here. We're scoring 6 goals in this game. We need to win game 7 and then we're in the Stanley Cup final. Dustin Wolf, I have to put all the pressure on you, because if you don't pick up a shutout, I can't guarantee we're going to win this game. If you pick up a shutout though, we're guaranteed to win. We're going to be exchanging goals in the first period. We're picking up the first 2, they're picking up the next 2. In the second period, we're picking up another 2. Dustin Wolf, I need perfection from you in the 3rd period. What is going on? The team is collapsing and we just lost this game. I give up. I truly give up with this team. We had a 2-goal lead entering the 3rd period, and then we allowed 3 unanswered, including the OT winner. This team will never win. So right after we lost to Minnesota, they went on to win the Stanley Cup. I feel like over the past 5 years, 4 of the Cup winners have taken us down at some point. We always end up losing to the Stanley Cup champs. Problem is, we're not losing to the Stanley Cup champs in the Stanley Cup final. we're losing to the conference finals or the second round or maybe even the first round. Offensively, we were pretty good. I can't really ask for too much here. Dustin Wolf, what were your numbers? A 915 to 272. Maybe you could have been slightly better, but yeah, our defense collapsed on you. You're 35 years old. How many more years left do you have in the tank? He might be retiring after this season for all we know. Dustin Wolf, are you going to be coming back for another season? You better, because we can't be ending like this. Now, luckily, Dustin Wolf's not going to be retiring quite yet, so we still have another season to win a Stanley Cup. Or at least we have another season to give us an opportunity to win our first Stanley Cup. Because yeah, we haven't even got our first yet. So remember a couple years ago when we made that trade with Florida and we got 3 first-round picks? Well, this first-round pick is going to be the 20th overall. There is a medium league potential player available here who is also a gem. So yeah, I'll definitely take that. 62 overall. We got a good player right there. So that trade's really worked out for us. I mean, yeah, we traded Land Dupont away, but we've been getting a lot of studs here, and it looks like we're going to be getting another gem in the draft with a 31st overall. We're getting a 75 overall. We've been bringing in some good prospects in this video. Like, this might be one of my best drafting videos yet. Nah, like seriously, at this point, I can't miss. A medium elite potential defenseman. We are trading all these elite potential players we have for people who were selected in this draft. I'm going to trade for whoever went first overall. I'm trading for whoever went second overall. We're bringing a handful of these guys onto the team, and then we're going to win over the next couple years. They're going to place in the bottom 6 minutes for us. I'm getting desperate. Now, we're going to finish this draft off with one more great prospect. We're going to be securing a low elite potential playmaker. All right, now we only have 2 guys that need extensions here, so we should be able to bring them back to the team if we want. Pearson, I don't want to give you $3 million. You know what? We're actually going to qualify both these guys as RFAs, and then we're going to trade them away because we have a handful of pretty valuable pieces. Like, you guys have to remember, a couple seasons ago, we drafted all these medium elite potential goaltenders, 2 of them having high elite potential. It's time for us to finally trade all these pieces. So Corny and Berglund are both needing extensions here. Berglund, I'm going to definitely bring you back to the team. Maybe not. 12.5 is quite expensive for you. Corny, how much are you going to be looking for? You're probably looking for like 15 or something. $9 million is actually pretty reasonable. So I'll bring you back to the team. $9 million for the next 4. So he's going to be returning. And then Berglund, I think we're going to trade you away. Okay, Winnipeg is making this so incredibly difficult. It's actually a little bit ridiculous here, but we're going to get this deal done eventually. So I'm going to trade a mediumly potential player, 2 second rounders in Berglund for Lindbergh. Now Lindbergh, the only thing I have against you is you're a left winger, and we actually don't need a left winger on our second line. However, I'll just play you on the right wing and we'll make it work. So Winnipeg's going to be accepting that deal. We have a couple more moves to make. All right, so Reed has low franchise potential now. Not really too sure how he accomplished that, but last season he basically did nothing for us, and we also have to remember he's a grinder. So I don't care if this guy was selected 4th overall, he's a grinder, and I don't want a grinder on my team. So I'm going to trade him over to the Philadelphia Flyers. We're getting Bruin in a 2nd round pick. I guess we're not getting that 2nd rounder. We should be able to get some draft compensation though. So how about you give me 2 3rd round picks and we call this a fair deal? I'm offering this over there saying no. I'll take out 1 of the 3rd round picks, and Philly's going to be accepting. Now I'm just so incredibly annoyed with this team right now. I don't care anymore. A highly potential goaltender is being traded to the Islanders. We're getting a player who just came off their rookie season. He had 42 goals and 24 assists last season. He's an 85 overall. He's going to play bottom 6 minutes for us. I don't care if our bottom 6 consists of only rookies or guys who are on the 2nd year of their rookie contract. We need so much elite talent in order to win. It's ridiculous. Now I didn't realize it, but the Islanders actually had both of the players I wanted. So we're sending another highly potential goaltender over to them. We're getting Dackel in a 2nd round pick. I don't know why the Islanders want all these highly potential goaltenders, but they can have them. Now we just need a couple cheap right defensemen here, so we're going to pick up Scarlett, $1.45 million for the next 2 years. And then we're going to pick up one more right defenseman here. We're going to go with Drager, $1.3 million for the next 2 years. That's a really good contract for a 78 overall. All right, now this could potentially be our last run here, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Dustin Wolf fell off a cliff. He is not the player he used to be. Bro is down to an 82 overall fringe star potential, 35 years old. I think this could potentially be his final season. We are about to do this entire rebuild and not win a Stanley Cup, even though I built one of the greatest teams of all time. I technically did build the greatest team of all time. We won 67 games, but apparently 67 wins just wasn't enough. So we have one last chance with the Yukon Youngins, a 59-20-3 record. This is probably going to be our final chance to win a Stanley Cup. Dustin Wolf's going to start regressing way too much. He's not going to be able to win us a Stanley Cup, so we have to do it right here. The team is still looking amazing offensively. We had 6 players over a point a game. I can't ask for anything more. Our entire top 6 was over a point a game. That's ridiculous. That's actually absurd. Dustin Wolf, he's dropped to an 81 overall, 48 wins, 7 shouts, an 896 and a 296. One last run with this team. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. We have to win. We're not stopping at all. We're not jumping into any games. We're simulating until June 11th, and we are going to watch this run. The Yukon Youngins will win their Stanley Cup this season. We're done folding. We're done losing. We have learned our lesson here. We're going to sweep the Edmonton Oilers. We're moving on to the second round. This team's playing really good right now. Dustin Wolf, unfortunately, age isn't on your side, so we have to win right now. We can't can't fold to the Calgary Flames. We split the series. We got to win game number 5. We allowed 9 goals. We're eliminated in the second round. We're never going to win. I give up. I truly give up with this team. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I can understand Dustin Wolf not putting up the greatest numbers now. Like, bro's 36 years old. He's not the guy he used to be. He's clearly not in his prime anymore. But even with all of that, we should have at least won one. Like, I don't know what it is. Is Dustin Wolf the problem here? Is it our core pieces? Is it Lane Hutson? Is it Michkov? Is it Celebrini? Who is the problem here? Well, Celebrini was -10. Michkov was -7. That's not going to help us at all. Ragnarsson was -7, so our first line was terrible. These guys were amazing during the regular season. Like, they were incredible during the regular season. Like, during the regular season, +32. Once the postseason came around, -7. That's a pretty big switch up. I don't know what happened to this team. And then when it comes to goaltending, Dustin Wolf, you're not the guy anymore. 36 years old, and 861 to 395. It's all over. The Yukon Youngins just don't have it in them anymore. Hopefully Dustin Wolf runs it back for one more season, but I highly doubt it. But you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be doubting this man, because Dustin Wolf believes he has one more year left in him. So Dustin Wolf, if you think you can still compete, and you still think you can be our number one, you have to prove it. Now, we're going to be walking away with a mediumly potential goaltender, but that doesn't mean anything. Dustin Wolf is still the guy here. I don't care if we have better goaltenders out there. Dustin Wolf is the guy. We are rocking with Dustin Wolf. We're going to ride or die with Dustin Wolf here. More than likely, we're going to have to trade our backup away. We got another mediumly potential player. This one's a defenseman. No, like, this was really my best drafting video ever, and we still haven't won a Stanley Cup. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. So I think I've only done this one time before, and I actually think the last time I did this, Macklin Celebrini was actually involved in the video. Either Macklin Celebrini or Michkov, one of the two. So that's how you know I've reached my breaking point. If we don't win this season, the video's over. If we can't win a Stanley Cup this upcoming year, we're ending the video. Dustin Wolf is only getting worse. Like, bro's down to an 81 overall. He's 36 years old. He's not getting any younger here. When it comes to contracts, Ragnarsson's going to need an extension. Lane Hutson's going to need an extension. You know for a fact both of these guys are going to be looking for almost $20 million. We're going to start running into a lot of cap issues. So this season and this season alone, this upcoming season is going to decide everything. We're not able to bring anyone back to the team. Everyone's asking for too much money here. We're not even going to sign these rookies. I lied. I'm going to sign this mediumly potential one. We'll make a couple trades. But yeah, no, things are not looking good for us right now. Now, there's a lot of extensions that have to be handed out here. Ragnarsson, Lane Hutson, we do have to make sure that we give you guys extensions in case we actually do run it back next season. Now, there's a lot of extensions that have to be handed out. Lane Hutson, you're going to be getting the first one, $15.3 million. So if I give you this deal, more than likely Ragnarsson's not going to come back to the team unless we free up some money. So we're going to be looking at $13.4 million for the next 3 seasons. That's going to leave us with $12 million in cap space. With that $12 million, how much does Ragnarsson want? Well, he wants 18.9. Yeah, we're going to have to free up a lot of money here. So Ragnarsson, I'm going to offer you this contract. Hopefully you're going to be accepting. It looks like he is. Now we got to free up some money. How much money exactly do you have to free up? $5 million should be good for us. Now, because of the contract situation we're in, Logan Stankoven is going to have to be traded away here, but this might be for the betterment of the team because we're going to be bringing in 3 mediumly potential players. We're going to get all these guys because I'll throw in as many draft picks as we have to. We're walking away with all these assets. Actually, we might not have to do draft picks here because we might just be able to trade one of these mediumly potential guys that we've drafted. So I'll trade Horton away, 20 years old, 69 overall. He should be enough to get this deal done. Surprisingly, he isn't. I'll give you a couple first round picks. So here's a first round pick for 2038. I think that might be enough to get this one done. They want a couple other picks. I mean, all they want is a 7th round pick, but you know what? I'm a nice guy. Here's a 3rd rounder, and that will be enough to get this done. Now, if you were to ask how down bad are we right now, well, I have to trade some of our mediumly potential goaltenders because they're too good. Like, these guys are higher overalls than Dustin Wolf, so they would end up starting over him. That's not allowed. Dustin Wolf has to be our starting goaltender, so I'm going to trade that mediumly potential goaltender over to Chicago for 2/3. And then we have to trade this other mediumly potential goaltender because he's an 80 overall and he'll develop, and we just need a backup here. Zubov, you can be the guy. But I want more than Zubov. You have to give me some picks. So how about you give me 2 3rd rounders and we call this a pretty fair deal. All right, Yukon, you literally have one last chance. This is your last chance. If you don't step up and win a Stanley Cup this season, the video's ending. I don't know what it is about this Yukon team, but I have made so many moves in order to make us a better team. I don't care if we don't have great line chemistry here. We've had good line chemistry in the past and it hasn't worked out for us. Dustin Wolf is a 79 overall. We have to trade Thomas away, or we're sending Thomas to the AHL. We got to do something. He's too good. Zubov, I'm calling you up. You have to be our backup. Thomas is going to surpass Dustin Wolf as the starter. I'm not going to lie, I think I'm going to lose my mind this season if we somehow win a Stanley Cup while Dustin Wolf is a 79 overall. If this man wins as a 79 overall, I'm going to go crazy. Okay, so I already know we're going to lose in the first round. I can see it all coming. 66 wins this season. Yukon just won 66 games, a 66-13-3 record. We had 4 guys over a point a game. Bruin's going to be picking up 79 points, so he had a great season as well. He's got himself a superstar X Factor. Dustin Wolf at a 78 overall had 50 wins, 2 shouts, a 917 and 249. It's the last dance. The last dance for the Yukon Youngins. We're taking on Vegas in the first round. 16 postseason victories is all I'm looking for here. I'm looking for 16 wins during the playoffs. This team lost 16 games during the regular season. So if you're able to lose 16 games during the regular season, I don't see why you can't win 16 games during the playoffs. You're kidding me. You're actually kidding me, right? This isn't happening. We're about to get swept, aren't we? Nope, we're going to be winning game 3 and we're winning game 4. But how on earth did we just drop those first 2 games? We're going to drop game number 5. I can see it all happening. Nope, we're going to steal that one away in overtime. Close it out in game 6. We need to close this out in game 6. We can't afford to lose this one. What are we actually doing here? This team is really going to lose in the first round after winning 66 games. I knew it would happen too. We're picking up the first goal of the game. In the second period, we're picking up another 2. We should have this game locked down. We're winning at 4-0. Dustin Wolf's picking up a shutout. Now, Vegas shouldn't have taken us to 7 games considering we won 66 games during the regular season. But you know what? We're going to just get past that. We're moving on to the second round. We have San Jose up next. So San Jose is up next here. Vegas took us to 7 games, so I don't have a lot of confidence moving into this matchup. We dropped game number 1. We actually got shut out. Okay, we split the series with San Jose. Don't lose game number 5. Yukon, you were supposed to be winning a Stanley Cup here. Now, we won game number 5 pretty handedly. We won that one 8-3. Can we close out in game 6 and move on here? Yes, we can. We have a little momentum. The team's scoring a lot of goals right now. Let's just keep on flying. We have the Anaheim Ducks up next. We're just taking it one game at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 period at a time, 1 second at a time. We're just taking this slow right now. We are down 3-1. You're kidding me. We won 66 games during the regular season, and we lost in the conference finals once again. We have never won in the conference finals. We never made it to the Stanley Cup final once in this video. The Yukon Youngins are dead. I'm destroying this franchise. You'll never see it again. I actually lied. I'm not destroying the franchise. I'm keeping it as a created team, but you will probably never see it again. I'm going to keep it in my created teams file, but you will likely never see this team again because of how big of frauds they are. I can't express this enough. Dustin Wolf, I can't put any blame on you. You're 37 years old. You've been regressing the past 5 years, but we didn't have any other choice. I chose to build this team around you. I chose to build it around Macklin Celebrini. I chose to build it around Michkov, and I chose to build it around Lane Hutson. What did building a super team around those 4 guys do for us? Absolutely nothing other than conference finals exits, second round exits, and first round exits. Like, I don't think we're really comprehending how good of a team I had. At one point, we had Michkov in his prime, Lane Hutson in his prime, Celebrini in his prime, Ragnarsson in his prime, Landon DuPont in his prime, and Dustin Wolf in his prime. The best thing that team did for me was a conference finals exit.